All right, today I wanted to dive into one of my favorite kinds of stories. The kind where someone takes a crazy idea, a ton of guts, and then turns it into something legendary. Recently, I had the chance to spend time with Jesse Itzler at his home. Now, Jesse's an entrepreneur, he's an author, former rapper, he's an endurance athlete, which is how I met him, but he's also the husband to Sara Blakely. And you may know she's the visionary behind Spanx. Now, the two of them, I got to tell you what, they've built not just businesses, but really a philosophy for living boldly and building fearlessly. Now, I've got a lot of entrepreneurship in my blood. I'm the son of two entrepreneurs. My sister's an entrepreneur, and now I'm running my own business as well, walking that same road. And just recently, kind of fun, one of my daughters told me she wants to take over the company one day. I got to tell you, that one makes a dad proud. So yeah, the story that I'm about to tell you, it's personal, and I hope it lights a fire in you too. All right, let's start with Sarah. Now, Sarah was selling fax machines door to door when she had an idea. Now, real quick, you remember fax machines, right? For those of you that don't, Google it or ChatGPT it. Now, she had this idea that was born out of everyday frustration. You see, she cut the feet off of her pantyhose simply to smooth out the lines under her white pants. Now, it was just an idea. There were no investors, no fashion background. She just had a pair of scissors, and that turned into grit and then a I can figure this out type of mindset. And with $5,000 of her own savings, she said, I can do this. And she learned how to write her own patent. She made cold calls to manufacturers and faced a tidal wave of rejections until one guy finally said yes. Why? Well, his daughters thought her idea was genius, and a dad's always got to listen to his daughters. Now, she then walked into Neiman Marcus and she pitched her product in a bathroom uh, because the conference room it just wasn't cutting it. And this pitch it got her first big retail deal. Now, rumor has it that she also had her friends after that go into Neiman Marcus and actually buy the product off the shelves to drive up demand. Brilliant. See, at that time, Spanx was born, and the world has never looked at undergarments the same way. Sarah's story breaks every myth about what you need to be an entrepreneur. You see, she didn't have funding, she didn't really have connections, she didn't even know how to sew. But she had an idea, and more importantly, I think, is she had a belief in herself and that idea. Now, if you've ever started something on your own, you know belief is the dream fuel. It gets you through the rejections, the long nights, and that second guessing. Now, I remember starting my own business and feeling like I was constantly learning on the fly. The truth is, sometimes that never stops. You don't outgrow the hustle, but you do learn how to move through it with more confidence. Because entrepreneurship, it's not clean, it's not glamorous, but it's powerful and it changes lives. And it can start with you. All right, let's talk about my friend Jesse. Because the thing is, he's not just Sarah's husband. Jesse, before meeting Sarah, he was a powerhouse all on his own. A couple things. He co founded Marquis Jets. That's the world's largest private jet card company, which he later sold to NetJets. He was a partner in Zico Coconut Water, which eventually was acquired by Coca Cola. He's the co owner of the Atlanta Hawks. And somehow, between all of that, he ran 100-mile ultramarathons. He also lived with a Navy SEAL for a month and he wrote a best selling book about it. And funny, he actually started his career as a rapper, signed with a major label, and he parlayed that creativity into marketing and just branding genius. I got to tell you, of anybody I know, this guy lives outside the box, and it is awesome to see. But what I admire most, Jesse believes in big ideas, even when they sound crazy, especially when they sound crazy. He brings that same energy to supporting his wife, Sarah. He's kind of like that partner that always says, let's go bigger, the kind who challenges you to stop playing small. And that's a lesson for all of us. Your circles, they matter. I tell my daughters that all the time. Your belief system, it matters. The people around you can be your launch pad or your lid. You see, Sarah's journey is more than inspirational, it's transformational. She built something massive while navigating all the usual entrepreneurial challenges and then some. Now, as a woman pitching an intimate product in a male dominated industry, got to tell you, she had to push harder. She had to speak louder. She had to prove herself more than once, and she did, again and again and again. Now, Spanx, it's not just a brand, it's a symbol. It's a signal to every woman with an idea that she doesn't have to wait for a seat at the table and go build your own table. Now, as the dad of two amazing daughters, that message means the world to me. When one of them said she wants to take over my company someday, I realized this is why we do it. Not just to build a business, but to build belief in that next generation. Let's show them what's possible, not just by what we say, but also by what we do. Now, here's what I want you to take away from all of this. You don't need permission to start. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a problem that is worth solving and then the guts to try. Jesse and Sarah, they did not wait for a green light. They created opportunities by showing up fully and taking action, even when they didn't have it all figured out, especially when they didn't have it all figured out. Your background doesn't define your ceiling. Your mindset does. So, what can you do right now? I want you to write down the idea you've been sitting on, even if it feels wild. Take one real step toward it this week. Call someone, test it, sketch it out, share it with someone who believes in you. Find your Jesse, or be one for someone else. So let me ask you this. What's the idea you've been too afraid or too busy to chase? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's name it, let's normalize it, and take that first bold step together. Now, I hope this episode gave you something to think about. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share it with someone that might need this encouragement today or just wants to hear a good story. And also subscribe so you don't miss next week's as well. All right, folks, I'm Chris Hobart, the Wealthologist. Now, whether you're launching your first idea or you're raising that next generation of leaders, remember, you're allowed to start before you're ready. The important thing, just start.